AITA for buying a house without consulting my fiancé? My fiancé is in university finishing her MA. She lives with her parents, but we are planning on moving in together as soon as she is done school. We have looked at a few homes, but she is never happy with them and says we should wait until she can contribute to the down payment and the mortgage. One of my uncles is moving to Mexico for his retirement, and he offered me an amazing price on his house. It's way too big for me or us, but the price was too good to pass up. He isn't emotionally attached to the house or anything. He bought it after his divorce and it has been his party house ever since. I had enough for the down payment, and because of the price I paid, I can pay the property taxes added to the mortgage and still be paying less than I would be for anything else that I would buy in my city. But now my fiancé is mad that I bought our first home without involving her. I said I would have no problem selling the house and picking one with her, and we could use my equity to put a huge down payment on a house she approved of. She said that wasn't the point and that I was a dick for cutting her out of such a huge decision. I don't know what I did wrong. I could sell the house today for nearly $125,000 more than I paid for it, without any work. If I clean it up and paint it, I could get more. Her friends are on her side, but my friends and family think I was right to jump at such a great opportunity. I called my uncle and he asked him if he cared what I did with the house. He said no, that he just wanted to give me a head start on life since he couldn't pay back my dad, who paid for his university when my grandparents disowned him. My dad passed away a long time ago and my mom and stepdad raised me. My uncle always gave me great gifts, but I never knew why. Sorry if my story is disjointed. AITA? #EDIT. The reason I didn't discuss it with my fiancé is because I don't really think of this as a home for us. I was thinking we fix it up and flip it. Info: people don't just buy a house overnight. When you and your uncle were doing the transaction paperwork, why didn't you mention it to your fiancé then? Were you trying to surprise her? Or did you suspect she might become upset and/or try to deter you from your decision? You missed the point. Even after your fiancé told you point blank that you missed it. The issue is this: she wanted to be included in your decision as an equal member of the team. It sounds like she even wanted her name to be on the paperwork. You are in a committed relationship, but made a unilateral decision. Was it a wise financial decision? Yes. Was it your right to do so given that the two of you are not married? Yes. Was it a great decision for your relationship? No. You've shown her you're more than capable of disregarding her input about things that affect both of you, and that doesn't bode well for marriage. It even sounds like you may have hidden what you did, given that buying a house is not something you wrap up in an afternoon. Have you sat down and sorted out your thoughts about why you did that? Why didn't you ever tell her about this before you did it? It's not a bad deal, but she was never presented with the option of even weighing in. I would be afraid of your next major financial decision would also be done alone and not with your partner. She's not mad that it's a great deal. It's that for some reason you did it, for the two of you, but you did it without her. YTA. YTA. Not for buying the house itself, as it's a good deal, but for seemingly not mentioning it to your fiancé beforehand. Info: who tied you up and confiscated your phone so you couldn't call your future wife and let her know? You planned to make business decision but wanted her to know you could carry the financial burden and might actually make money for a house you both enjoy. YTA. YTA. It isn't about buying the house. It is about a partnership with your fiancé. A quick phone call? A text? I would be upset if my fiancé didn't even think to discuss something so huge with me. If you had spoken to her and she advised no, but you did it anyway, then you wouldn't be the But you didn't include her at all. If you don't already know that big financial decisions should be made together, you should probably postpone the wedding and start premarital counseling. YTA. This is a solid investment and your uncle was very kind to give you this huge financial head start. Good for you. This was not a decision about the two of you, but an investment you made prior to marriage. Should you have mentioned it? Probably. From the comment Op made about her not liking homes they've looked at together. He just wanted to do this without her complicating things. You two should have a little premarital counseling. YTA. You could have at least called her before actually sealing the deal. Do you really see a future with this woman? This was a major milestone that you just hit without her. YTA. She's your fiancé. You two are supposed to be building a life together. Therefore any significant decision should done collaboratively. The line on what counts as a significant decision will vary from couple to couple. But suffice it to say buying a house will always be above that line. I will say that if it is as sweetheart of a deal as you are suggesting, then you would be foolish to pass on it. But that doesn't excuse the methods you used to get there. The process matters just as much as the end result in terms of relationships. And you just proved to her that you're willing to go behind her back to get what you want if the conditions are right. She should be pissed at you. Let's envision a slightly different scenario that could have very easily happened here. You buy this house from your uncle, then discover 2 months after purchase there is significant foundation damage to it. Let's assume this is not anything your uncle hid from you, just that it was at this point it became apparent. Now instead of owning a house on a sweetheart deal that you can leverage into greater assets later, you own a seriously damaged house that's going to require a large sum of money to repair and might be difficult to sell. And further, there's no guarantee this house is the type of house you and your fiancé want or is in an area convenient to either of your careers. That would be a big freaking problem that you've just gotten you and her into and you never consulted her on it. I don't know how you go about making it right, but start with apologizing and acknowledging what you did was incredibly inconsiderate to your fiancé. The point is still you could have called and shared this info and opportunity with her. You didn't. She's voiced that she doesn't feel she can get what she wants until she's contributing financially. The appropriate course of action is to assure her this is just an investment and not your first home before you made the purchase. Then treat it as such. Acknowledge she's feeling powerless in the decision-making due to her financial situation. Decide explicitly if indeed you are not taking her input until she has money to put in. If that's not the case, your behavior is not syncing up with your intentions. To summarize, partners bounce ideas and life decisions off each other. You're showing her she's not that to you, and she thinks it's down to her not putting any cash in. Is she right? If not, clear it up with her. YTA. Possibly of ignorance to her issue. So are you saying that she didn't even know you were buying a house? Like, even in a straightforward home sale, that's not something that happens quickly. You didn't at any point tell her what you were doing until it was done. I can understand her feeling blindsided by this if that's what you're saying. I'd bet she's wondering how many more financial situations she will be cut out of once married. I mean, I don't think you're under any obligations to anyone about accepting what is essentially a big gift from your uncle. But the way you went about it seems so secretive. I can see why she feels upset. Soft YTA. Edit. After seeing your edit, it pushes it even more to YTA. You expect her to be a part of fixing up and selling a house you didn't even tell her about? Nah. I get why she's mad. It's a huge thing. Yes, you should have run it past her just to get her input and explain the huge advantage in the deal. On the other hand, she has got to cut you some slack. In an ordinary life, these kinds of deals don't happen often, so you have to jump on it. You can literally sell the house now and use the funds for a home she approves of if it would smooth things over. Op could have told his partner that he was making the purchase with the option to live, rent or sell the home, and discussing the options together. I don't think couples should have to ask each for permission to do things, though upfront communication can prevent many hurt feelings. NTA for buying a house you could either live in with fiancé or flip for a profit. But YTA majorly for not cluing your fiancé into this decision for 30+ days while you were signing contracts and getting inspections and funding, etc. How did this not come up? Especially since you know she's picky about what house to buy, as she should be. You either wanted to make a big grand gesture surprise that you didn't realize would backfire. Unlikely. Or you omitted the information on purpose knowing that it couldn't be undone by the time you told her. You're either a clueless jackass or a manipulative one. NTA 1. This was a very smart financial move. 2. You've tried to repeatedly accommodate your fiancé. Point 3. Your fiancé has repeatedly refused to compromise. Point 4. Your fiancé has made it very difficult to discuss house purchasing options. Point 5. Your fiancé repeatedly puts her needs before yours. Honestly, this was a smart move on multiple levels. Not only is it a great investment, but it has also shown another side of your fiancé. Pause and rethink your relationship. She doesn't compromise, dismisses your concerns, and you have different financial goals. Best to find this now. Do not add her to the deed. The lack of communication makes me give you YTA. If she was your girlfriend, I'd say you didn't have to communicate with her, but you made the decision to put a ring on it. Now that she has moved into future life partner status, you should have communicated with her. Period. That being said, good investment move. Info. Did you present it to her as a house flipping opportunity to make some money? Or as your first home together to live in? YTA for not talking to her. I'm sure she would have agreed about it being a great opportunity. Now you'll never know, and this will always be an issue. FFS. Why are so many of these posts just because people can't communicate? YTA you are actually confused why your life partner is upset you didn't involve her in one of the biggest decisions someone can make in their life.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. AmITheAsshole is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.